going to be recorded. Okay, supposedly it's 5 o'clock. Uh, This is the monthly Harwich Bikeways Committee meeting. We're here at the Channel 18 studio. So let's begin. We have Charlene, Eric, Paul, Charlie, myself, Fran, and we have two guests. Who would like to introduce the guests?
Steve.
Steve?
And Cynthia.
So why do we have Steve and Cynthia here?
Well, because I learned that you had a bike committee, and I've been wanting to say a few things about the bike trail, and I thought this is the time if it's open to the public. Yeah.
Great.
So,
Go ahead, we'll let you start.
Really? Oh, God. I got butterflies in my stomach. Come on.
We're easy going.
I
Don't
didn't.
worry
No,
about
it's
it.
not you. It's the camera.
Yeah, but
Oh,
no one's
we're-
watching it.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say, Channel 18.
It's
Oh,
filmed just
okay.
for legal.
All right. Well, I
requirements. Don't
actually
worry
made
about
my
it.
little
Oh.
notes.
I
Okay.
was going to say
a long
she's used to
list.
being.
It is a long list. In fact, I have a little bit of stage fright because I'm very emotional about these topics.
Oh, good.
Okay. I'll preface it by saying I've known this bike path before it was a bike path because my parents bought their house in about 1972 on Princess Street in Harwich, and they were right next to what is now the bike path. At that time, it was really the rail trail. It was nothing but dirt and pine needles and very narrow. And so we walked on it all the time, and there were no bikes around. Okay, I think there were bikes on other parts. I mean, I think there was a part that went up to Eastham or something, but there wasn't a bike trail
You was here too.
between
you're a
Harwich and
Harwich
Chatham.
native.
Yes.
What?
Well, the rail trail was in effect. It went from Eastham to Dennis, but the OCRT wasn't.
Okay, right. So anyway, I just wanted to preface it with that, so that, you know, I've seen it change and I've you know, seen what it's like. But, and the bike I ride is, you know, it's a Schwinn that's over 50 years old because these bikes belong to my parents. And so it's got one gear. It did have three, but only one works. So, you know, I love the bike, and everybody admires this old Schwinn, or these old Schwinns. And I have to walk it up some of the hills and all that. But anyway, I have some issues with riding the bikes. The first one I'll talk about is the one, all the walk, don't ride signs at the crosswalks. You must know that nobody observes that. Now I have made a point to observe it, just to be, I guess, I don't know, a pighead or stubborn or just to. I don't know, you know, I don't really know
the rules,
exactly.
yeah.
Well,
It's not so much
you
that
wanna know why
I'm
they
not a
have
big
those
rule
up?
follower.
They have those up legally, that if you're on a bike riding in, you have no rights. It's a pedestrian crosswalk.
Yeah, I understand
So
that.
it's
Most
just
signs,
to let you know
yeah.
legally.
Most signs are
But
about
the most
liability.
important one is stop.
Yeah, I know,
And then
but
the whole
the
world
thing
would be
is,
good if
the
people
thing is,
did
they
that.
don't. They don't. So I was biking with my cousin, and this is her husband, and we were up by Hinkley Lake, where that little general store is, and some biker came across without stopping at all, and there is a stop sign, and the car was already stopped, but the car got very angry and yelled at her, "You're supposed to stop." The other day, I got off the bike and walked across 39, the one that goes out to Stop and Shop?
Yes.
Yeah.
39. I walked across 39, and as soon as I got across, a man shouts out the window, "Thank you for walking your bike. You're the only one who does." And I said, "Yeah, I'm doing it to make a point, you know?" And you know, and so I've watched it, you know, I've watched this, you know, it's like, I remember being surprised that bikers with a baby in the back wouldn't even, they don't even stop to walk it across. I mean, you know, now it's like, basically bikers think of it as just another road, like a road that cars are on. In other words, they think they seem, well, no, they don't think of it that way because they don't seem to think they need to stop at a stop sign. And so they kind of think they're a privileged class and that they can just zoom through. And this, you know, it's not like I'm a big rule follower or stickler, but there are two things that really bother me. One of them is that, let's say I'm coming from my house on Princess Street and here's 39, I'm going towards Harwich Center. If I dismount and walk my bike across, and then I have to mount when I get on this side, I'm going to be in somebody's way. That speed demon behind me is going to say, what's that woman doing standing in the middle of the bike path? Why the hell isn't she on her bike? And so he's going to go around me, which means he might come face to face with a bike in the other lane coming the other direction, head-on collision. Now, I haven't seen this happen, but it's like, it's all potentially could happen, and that's why this whole idea of, you know, you said it's just for liability, essentially. But you know, if somebody chooses to follow the so-called rules, get off, dismount, walk across, they are putting themselves in jeopardy of being hit by somebody
By
from
a
behind.
fast cheating cyclist. Well, I hear your point.
No,
I'm not in favor of that walk, don't run. If you notice, the rail trail doesn't have them.
Okay, so what are you in, what are
We
you
have
in
a
favor
stop
of?
sign. You know, people can't be idiots. S-T-O-P. They have to come to a complete stop. They have no rights to enter a pedestrian crossway. So they can bike across if they look and nothing's coming, then you proceed with caution. That's what it means. And, you know, we've had rangers stand there and yell at people. It's the biggest problem.
Okay, so essentially you're saying that the walk don't ride is not expected to be followed at all, and you
Well, I don't
prefer
know.
that
I mean,
people
that
stop.
it's trying to get people. It's not a legal requirement. You can
No,
just
what
bike
I'm saying-
across if it's nothing there.
Okay.
But the stop
so
is
the sign is
illegal.
essentially meaningless.
No, it's a guide. You know,
I
they're
don't
trying
think so.
to.
If people are not doing what the sign says, it's meaningless.
Well, I'm with you. I didn't want them on the rail trail. So I think minimize what you're telling people. But the stop sign is vital. We repaint the lines. I wouldn't mind if they circle the S stop sign with flashing.
So now, are
Some
you?
of them are.
Are you, actually, I'm not in favor of that either, because I don't think, it's sad to me that when I remember the bike trail is not even being paved and not even being wide and not having anybody on it, and now it's turning into a super highway with flashing lights around every stop sign, I am not in favor of that at all.
Well, I'm not the big caution light fan either, but a stop sign is vital.
Yeah, but the stop signs are there.
Right.
It's just they're not being observed.
Right.
And in my opinion,
So you
is
know
that,
what having tickets written would
Well,
make.
I
If
mean-
the word got out,
Yeah.
that's going to cost me $50.
Right.
And that, you know, we have to have police involved.
But they're not going to enforce
No,
it. I mean, they're not going to. Yeah.
I just wanted to say that, you know, I'm a rider too, and we all are. So you come up and you see the stop sign. So of course we don't dismount off our bikes unless there's cars coming. Then we dismount and wait for the cars, and hopefully they stop for us, but maybe not.
So you do dismount.
I get off if there's cars, but if I
Okay.
look both ways and it's quiet,
Okay.
I'm not going to get off my bike.
Oh,
I'm going
right.
to keep going,
Exactly
but I'm
the
slowing
same.
down and almost stopping because
Right,
I don't want to
right.
get killed.
But I
it's
never
common sense.
bolt across.
No.
I always
Right.
come
No.
to almost a
Yeah.
stop,
Right.
even if there's.
I mean, it's just common sense.
I do the
You
same
know,
thing.
The
I don't
courtesy,
dismount, but
there'd be no problem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's people being discourteous,
Yeah.
not caring about others, and
Well, unfortunately, there's a lot of them out there.
Yes.
And then the other thing about it is that I'm really against this. And I know nobody's going to agree with me. But this thing about yelling on your left, look if you're in a car and you're going to pass somebody, you do not toot. You do not toot to tell them you're going to pass them on the left. So why is a biker having to yell on your left? Do you know how many times somebody has startled me when I'm right?
When you don't announce, let's envision somebody walking with the earplugs in. They're unaware.
They're
that
not
there's
going to hear it
somebody
anyway.
by. And a lot of times they don't. I don't disagree with that, but they feel startled because they don't know you're there. So dinging your bell, lots of people
The
have
bells are great, I don't mind the
But
bells.
on your left is just a courteous.
Yeah, see, I don't agree. I mean, I don't agree.
Well, I never say on your
100%
left.
don't
I go
agree.
hello.
I absolutely
hello,
hate them.
yeah.
And I'll tell you, and talk about startled. It's I am a person who loves nature so much that when I ride on the bike path, I'm looking at every mushroom, and there's a million of them this year. I'm looking at, I'm just looking at everything, and I'm adoring it. And then suddenly, I didn't even hear this person come up. They're right here, and they scream on your left, and I practically jump out of my skin. And this has happened so many times that I got to the point where I'm actually snarling at people. I'm saying, "Don't say that," and so. I just think that to me it's a protocol that doesn't seem to make any sense. I mean, we don't do it in a car. We don't come blasting through on the horn. And the other thing is, why are they telling me that when I have no intention of coming over in the next lane? I'm going slow in the right lane. Why should I have the intention to suddenly come in front of this guy?
Well, I think if again, I just say hello, and I'm
Well,
pretty
that's-
far
I
back.
think-
That way, it's
Not
not,
starting.
It's not
I just
necessary.
want to let a person know I'm
And it's-
coming up in their
and
space.
it's
Yeah,
not
the thing
necessary.
is, it's, but with so many people passing, I had a group of about 9 people together passing, and every one of them said on your left. What happened to my reverie? What happened to my enjoyment of nature? It made me angry. I'm sorry, I don't like it.
Well,
I
And-
think that there's times I've had a pedestrian walking, and all of a sudden, they bolt off to the left to take a path through the woods.
Yeah.
And you're
Without
going,
looking.
wow.
Or
I
they
mean,
have a
Yeah,
child.
that's
so
a
your
pedestrian.
mind is like,
That's
okay,
a
I wish-
pedestrian.
Well, that's what I
Yeah,
was gonna
that's a
say is-
different movement
That,
pattern.
that,
Whatever,
I
it
think
could be a
that courtesy
bicycle, too.
call is more for not the adults so much,
Yeah.
but there's all different age groups
Well,
out there
then,
that don't think
I
about
mean,
it.
like,
So
I'm biking
if
along.
you're letting them know you're gonna
But
go
okay,
by.
here's the other thing. Guess
There's lots of
guess
similar-
who's yelling on your left? The people going as fast as they can.
Right, there,
Those are the ones. And you know what? The pragmatic value. I studied linguistics. The pragmatic value of yelling on your left is get the hell out of my way. I'm
Right.
barreling through. I'm sorry. I resent that. I resent
think
that.
you're
I
gonna
say
have
it when I go by people, and then I say, thank you. So,
Well-
and I ride
No,
a
I-
road racing bike. I'm not riding fast, but I ride a road racing bike.
Yeah,
So-
when
but
somebody
it's
says
not-
it, if
I
some-
am just trying to let them know.
Yeah, you're right. I'm talking about the ones, and there's too many
Yes,
of them,
I
that
would
are
agree.
going
You're making-
super fast, and
Yeah.
they yell it, and what they're saying is, get the hell out of my way. And first of all, I'm not gonna get in their way, and I don't feel, it's like a culture. It's a culture. And it's a culture that, that, as far as I'm sure, it's favoring the speed demons, and it's not favoring the people who want to mosey along and enjoy nature. We're like dinosaurs or something.
well, I put a speed limit on the rail trail last year.
Nobody obeys anything.
I think it has some effect.
The
What
other-
can I do? I mean, can I sit there with a machine gun and kill the bad people? No. But as far as
Is
nature,
that how I'm coming?
enforcement.
I'm a
is that how?
naturalist.
Is that how
I'm a
I'm coming
naturalist
across?
who rides his bike to see things.
Yeah, me
but-
too.
I bought a big fat tire bike and I go through the pumpkin, into the woods, around.
Yeah.
You have to,
Yeah.
the rail trail is it's a bike highway, and people.
Well, I don't like the word highway. I know,
Well, but
I mean,
it
the
is.
highway has a lot of connotations.
Well, okay,
that-
it's a bike, very well used, like 10,000 people a day. So it's not. If you really want to just enjoy nature, I mean, you got to go for it in the right place. I go out. I mean, yesterday, baby deer.
Where'd you see a deer?
Off of Black Duck Road.
You know what? I've been coming here over 40 years, and I have never seen a deer.
Well, listen, you gotta,
I just want to add something. One of the things I find is the unexpected stuff that happens when you're riding. Even a cyclist who could have stopped on the side of the road to adjust their seat or something, some people are totally oblivious to the fact that they're actually on a rail trail, or there are other people going by, and they just suddenly get on their bike and literally, like I go, whoa, are you out of touch with the rest of the world here? And then you get teenagers, young children who really, you have to watch them. Like every pedal, their bike goes like, and you're going, okay, I gotta make sure they know that I really am super careful around. So there's all kinds of unexpected things that happen. And so if you can make yourself aware, or them aware of your presence, hopefully you can avoid some sort of a collision with
I
them.
understand what you
Yeah,
mean.
but I get your
I
point.
understand.
Because the people who bark on your left and really,
Yeah.
you can read their minds, they're saying.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
are.
I understand,
Yeah.
it's an infringement, but when I
Yeah.
call, you would not be mad at me. I guarantee you.
Yeah, well, whenever, if somebody rings a bicycle bell, that's what I appreciate,
Yeah.
is the bicycle bell,
That's
you
what I
know?
think.
And I really think it's two
But I
very,
say
it's two,
on your
well,
left
there's
side.
many, you could say many different audiences,
Yep.
but the two most distinct audiences is somebody like me and somebody who's training for the Tour de France, and I swear some of them are, you know? So it just seems very incompatible, you know, they're very incompatible.
It's a tough one.
Yeah.
And now we have e-bikes.
Well, okay,
Yeah.
that was the last thing on my list here. It says no motor vehicles. Okay, don't tell me that's not a motor. That is a motor. It makes noise.
Well,
I can hear it
It's gone through
coming.
definition and legal
Yeah,
State
right,
channels.
the same
And
old, same old
they're
thing,
trying to
yeah.
promote the usage of e-bikes for people.
Who's
for
they?
The state.
The state, the
Uh-huh.
general,
Mass bike.
yeah, and you know something, and they're here to stay.
Okay, but well, I don't know if they're here to stay in some places, because as far as I know, there is a fight going on in the national parks. They don't want them in the national parks, because people want a place where it can be quiet. That's not the same context as this, but apparently,
Class.
what?
There's different
Of
classes of
e-bikes.
e-bikes.
Oh, I don't know anything about that.
Yeah. And I think, you know, the two classes that we're seeing mostly are 1 and 2, and then the third class is the one that goes really fast.
Well,
And,
so what
with
is
the
what's the speed of the third class one?
You know, I
top
think they
speed?
can go
Oh, they can go 30 miles
30
an
miles
hour.
an hour.
Right.
And I have
We've
seen a
seen
couple
like
of them.
motorcycles.
Yeah,
I
and so
mean,
that's
you know?
why,
Yeah.
when you say no motor vehicles and you can have something on there that goes 30 miles an hour, I mean, it's an oxymoron. It's ridiculous.
Trust me, this is something that's being dealt with at the state level.
Mhm.
And, you know, like, how do you enforce it? How do you, all these issues around it.
You have my
Well,
sympathy.
You know what? I don't
Yeah,
think, I'll
yeah.
tell you right now, I don't think it's how you enforce it. I think it's, do you enforce anything? Because from what I can see about I'm not just talking about bike pack, I'm talking about roads. From what I can see, there's no enforcement anywhere. And I actually live in Connecticut, and I live near a busy road, unfortunately. And the hot rodders and the people bombing out of town and all this right past my house. And I called the cops one day, and they said to me, we don't have a traffic mandate. So we don't have enough cops, we don't have a traffic mandate. So essentially, there is no enforcement. It has been, it's like they throw up their hands, we don't have the people, we're not going to enforce it. So this is anarchy.
Yeah.
It is, this country is going, I'm sorry, it's going towards anarchy. We've got rules that are a joke, nobody's enforcing anything, and people are parsing these definitions to where, you can call an apple an orange, and an e-bike is not a motor vehicle. Well, to me it is,
Yeah.
Okay, now I've said everything. Now,
I'm glad you said.
You got it off
all
your chest,
stuff.
that's good, yeah.
Thank
They're
you.
all issues.
Thank
that-
you for
That
listening.
we have addressed or discussed or tried to come up with. We're not trying to just, like what she said, the state's working on. We've had many discussions about e-bikes. The street crossing is definitely something we've talked about many
Right.
different times.
Well, it just did me good to talk to somebody
I'm
who
glad.
is, concerned with
Well, I
the very
totally
thing.
agree. I
Yeah,
have
thank
total
you.
sympathy.
Thank
And
you.
I was in the position to try to do something as the park supervisor there. It's really hard.
Yeah,
I got other aid to try to, get people to stop, and costs money to have ranger, have police.
Yeah.
I still believe if we started writing tickets, it might.
So is it just a rumor? Because I know do some of the towns write tickets? Because when
That would be
me
great.
and my son go riding,
Once you enter
we
a
have heard that.
road,
We have had somebody yell at somebody. We've seen it
Yeah.
in plain clothes.
Yeah.
right?
Oh, really?
Well,
We
Yeah.
have a
Yeah.
ranger
Yeah.
that's out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
But he can't write a ticket.
Yeah,
He doesn't write.
we had heard
tickets.
rumors that they did write tickets, and
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Keep that rumor going, because
Yeah.
that'll at least have some weight. But
I mean,
I
I was one of the ones that don't dismount, but I don't ride across. We have always stopped because we've been coming out here. My son's 18 now, and we've been coming out here since he's
common sense.
Yeah.
You know?
really.
yeah. And if the cars are moving, they go first. Like you said, pedestrians have the right of way.
But I mean, have
mean,
motorists
motorists,
ever
unless I'm a
come to your
pedestrian.
meetings and given their opinions on it?
I have done that,
I was
yeah.
at a selectman meeting. And
Oh, what, selectman, oh, okay.
I was at a selectman meeting representing the bikers, so I've heard from
But
them.
if you think bikers or bicyclists have it hard or are endangered, attend a traffic safety committee meeting with all of their complaints about cars.
I can imagine.
They're the worst.
I have a bazillion of those too.
They have to deal with
Idiots.
Harwichport and all the busy traffic in Harwichport, never mind the rest of Harwich.
Yeah.
And everybody, it seems, in all the states are complaining about speed.
It is the speed.
Cars
I drive for a
are
living,
speeding.
so
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Way fast.
And I
I
think
drive at night.
the
See a lot.
You should see
traffic
the way.
authority
Yeah.
is trying to come up with a way to reduce the speed on roads.
Well, I know
But
they
they
put
have-
that, electronic thing, sign
Yeah.
in the middle of
That
Harwich.
helps, it lets
Yeah.
people
I think the
know.
only way they'd get around reducing the speed is if they did like they do in Kuwait and other countries where they have
Chop off their
cameras on the
hand.
freeway and you're
Get
just like the
automatic
tolls,
ticket,
you
yeah.
get
Oh,
an
yeah.
automatic ticket.
Oh, yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's the only way they're gonna reduce it.
Yeah.
Because there's not enough police officers and
Well, I
On a
don't know,
nightly
Look,
basis
look at
going
my
to New Jersey, I
famous
see people
story, my
racing,
famous
so.
story about enforcement is that when I was in my twenties, I lived in Baltimore. And I drove down to Washington DC and I had an old Ford Falcon and my father had bought it for me from the state of Connecticut. I think it was a retired police car. It was a Ford Falcon, so it was
Yeah,
like
no, yeah.
kind of compact. But on the way back, leaving DC, my muffler fell off. And I was making all this noise. Well, I got stopped right away. And I was written an order and they said, you have 2 weeks to fix this or you have to pay so much.
Right.
And I went and got it fixed.
Yeah.
Is that happening anymore? Listen to the mufflers out there.
well,
This
remember
week
Some on
it's
purpose, yeah.
Armageddon.
I have actually seen on the Facebook page, because we have the Cape Cod Rail Trail group. Anyway, we've had motorists who comment and say, I wish they'd ride across the road because they're holding me up, So you get this sort of an attitude of,
Wait a minute, what did they mean by that?
well, like a cyclist who walks across.
Oh.
They're like, sitting there waiting for them to get
Stopping.
across. And
In
they're
here,
like,
I thought I was being a good little girl.
I'm just saying though, that opinions are so all over the map about
They
all this
are.
stuff.
Well,
So
if
that's for
people
sure.
could,
Yeah.
have courtesy
Oh, yeah,
and
that would be-
recognize that
So that-
each of us is the same, and it's just, we'll all live in peace. You have to have that attitude, but it's not popular.
Yeah.
We're in an age where it is pretty.
Why do you think that is?
Uh,
I have my theory about it.
well, I don't know. It's a tough one, but it's definitely worse than it's ever been. And you have ads for ambulance chasers on the TV all the time, and
What's that?
the lawyers that try to
Yeah.
It's not like a live, let live, and caring for each other is not popular. And it's too.
Well, my theory is that, we all know that life is speeded up exponentially, but my theory about this not being courteous or noticing or caring other people is the American culture's concept of fun. It's like fun. It's like, yay, let's all go out and just kind of, have our fun and nobody else matters. It's like if you're in your little pod, which is a term they came up with in the pandemic, your pod is, you have fun with your pod and the rest of the people are the other. They're outside of it. And so they don't merit any recognition. It's crazy.
If there was a button I
It's
could
called
push that
courtesy.
enlightenment happened throughout the world, I would push.
That'd be a great
Well,
push.
I got
Say that again?
Push it too.
If I could push a button that made everybody enlightened and everybody to get it,
Oh.
because it's reality that we're all the same and part of one big organism, really, the human race.
Now I have to do kudos to Harwich because don't you remember I got pulled over for noise in my 4
He did get pulled over for a loud muffler, but that was like,
And it was a 50 state legal muffler because it was stainless steel and oversized.
and
but
just because he was military, he got off.
probably, I don't know. But the
That's what he
police
thought.
officer in town was also from the military too. But,
Well, Yeah.
It wasn't
hear
as
your
loud as the
frustration.
Harleys you
Yeah.
hear.
But you know, it's constant.
I ride a bike, but I mean, it's not a Harley,
It
but
just
it's.
wears
Well,
me down.
Don't let
I can't
don't
get-
let the bad people in this world win. So you have to continue to do what you like, and that's the only way forward. Because what are we gonna do?
But you know what?
The
It's
whole
like
world goes to hell.
even
You
I,
don't
I
have
took I took a ride on my bike up to Hinkley Pond from Harwich the
Yeah.
other day to take a swim, and I didn't want to. I came back and I texted Jackie and I said the bike path's nothing like it used to be. I said I didn't enjoy that at all, not at all.
Well,
People were just barreling by, screaming on your left every few seconds, and so it's like I feel like really truly like I'm on a one-speed bike. I mean, I'm on a one-speed bike, So, I mean, I can't go fast even if I want
No, nobody's,
to, Yeah.
You just, it's, of course, you're talking about right now,
it's the height
busiest,
of
highest.
You're right,
amount
you're right.
of
But I've been
people.
here other summers and I don't remember it. I don't
Right.
remember feeling affected
I know
like this.
I mean, we're known for our bike trail. And a lot of people, I've talked to so many folks, I sit there at the Rotary and chat with people sometimes, just taking a break. And it's like, they come on vacation to bike.
Yeah.
They come to, whether it's
Camp
Harwich
at
and
Nickerson.
Chatham or
I
whatever,
totally
and they wanna
understand
bike.
that. And it's a
And
long
it's getting-
trail.
And it's
So,
getting more.
I think if it is busier this year, it probably is because of the pandemic and people
Yeah.
are getting out more.
Yeah, I
So,
think that
yeah.
We've done
Yeah.
trail counts, I don't know
Yeah,
if they.
we
I mean-
do, we do
show
trail counts,
increases
thinking
or
about
not.
what
how do
we
you do that?
We've only done
How do you
one.
do it?
Count
Oh, that's right.
An estimate.
Physically, just,
well, there's actually
counting
official,
devices, yeah.
counting devices.
there are counting devices.
Are those
in
those
the-
things on the road that you run over?
Yeah, there's like one by
yeah.
Stone Lovin' Pizza they put in. But, and then there are
Then we
physical
have physical
counts with
counts.
the
We do have
Friends of the
Nice.
Cape
And then,
Cod
yeah,
Rail
you
Trail that
estimate
Fran
Yeah.
Nice.
organizes and,
Well,
so-
because the issue is so important to me, or makes me so emotional, I've read some articles about other bike trails. There was a woman that was killed on a bike trail by a really fast guy. I guess she was elderly, and I guess even though he yelled it, she didn't hear him. So it behooved him to slow down.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And the whole thing is that if I yell on your left, supposedly he's covering himself and he doesn't have any moral obligation
He's-
to protect
yeah.
that person's life.
well, that's, he's ignorant.
He's still liable. He would still be liable.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened, but he killed someone, and I'm just kind of, I kind of like, I mean, I don't spend a
Well,
lot
we
of time
put up
looking at
speed
this.
limit signs to let racing people know this is not where your place to go work
You're
out.
gonna race
I-
on the road.
Cause I used to
Yeah.
bike, and I'd never go on a bike path, cause I always thought of it as a family trail.
Yeah.
And I'd
Oh,
fall down the
you
road.
mean to
I-
do your speed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did
wanna
rent one of
go-
the e-bikes out here one year, and I didn't ride by people fast, but I did ride it to the potential speed that they go.
Oh, you
And
didn't
they
do it very
They
much,
do go
though.
fast.
Yeah.
I mean, where they are dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
But
E-bike.
but I loved it for the standpoint is you still get exercise, but the hills are no longer.
Well, I was with you, and
There.
I got on that
There's two
same
of us that
bike.
have.
It's just
And of course-
it's just the cost.
Well, of course,
Like,
for me, getting
they're-
on that e-bike, I only did it that one
did the road
time
last year.
because I'm walking my
Some
bike
of
up
them
a
are more than
hill.
motorcycles.
Being on an e-bike
You
was
could
like
get up
being
the
Mary
hill.
Poppins,
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
didn't like the weight.
And you still get the
It's
same
really
action. You
heavy.
get your knees
Well,
moving.
I still
Like-
ride a regular
Yeah.
bike,
I know.
and I get
Could
a
not
good
believe
one
how-
that's light,
It
it got
was.
the gears.
I was surprised
But I
at how
don't
nice
ride a
they
racing
really.
bike, and I will cut through the woods a
Yeah.
lot.
And the other thing I thought was one time I saw an Indian woman on the bike in a sari, and I actually have worked abroad a lot as an English teacher. I've worked in 12 countries.
Oh, cool.
So I'm very interested in foreign cultures, and I think of a foreigner who came here and may not be able to speak English, and pedestrians do have a right to go on this trail, right? I mean, it's not. So here's this.
They have the right of
Here's
way.
this Indian woman in a sari, and sometimes these women in the saris, if they're of a certain age, they may not know English. Although in general, I mean, English is a official language of India. But I started thinking about that. this is another aspect of that. If we have foreign guests on this bike trail and maybe they have a language problem and they don't even know the protocols because biking is not a big deal in their countries, it behooves us to, it behooves the bikers to respect that too. And that's another potential for disaster,
Sure, I mean, you've got people coming from all over. I mean, you hear them speaking French, German, Russian, you name it, and they're out there. And I mean, this idea of courtesy is the number one thing.
No, I've had bikers yell at pedestrians saying, "Get off the bike path."
Oh,
Because they think, and it's not the
it's
bike,
not
it's a
good.
multi-use trail,
Right.
you know?
Right.
So
So
a
you guys
pedestrian
have a
has
lot
the
of
right
issues,
of way.
don't you?
So the question is, as a
I wouldn't
committee,
say
can we
they're
do any
issues,
public
but yeah.
education? That's
For
what
the
I
number
sort
of
of.
people
that-
who use it,
well, that's what
it's
even for
overwhelming,
driving,
because I've done the
you
trail
know?
counts.
Yeah.
You would be, it's very surprising to see the number of people that are on that trail.
Yeah.
One day.
I haven't
As
encountered
you-
too many.
So,
It's a
to a
lot.
new
2,000
road.
a day?
I'm guessing the trail's
Yeah, well,
pretty
now I'm
crowded.
choosing the times of day when
Right.
hardly
I was gonna
anybody's
say,
out
that's one
there.
way to-
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Make sure you
usually
have
ride.
a-
It wasn't
road.
that bad
Yes,
coming in.
I
I took the
understand.
rail
I think
trail.
I've seen you out there
I had
before
a
over the
couple
years.
of people
Where'd you
walking
come
down,
from?
I'm out there a lot.
Depot Street by Dennis.
Okay.
I'm an addict.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go home through the.
It's easy to get addicted to something.
Oh, the
Yeah.
popcorn. I just learned about that. I just read about
Oh my
that. And I had
God.
never been
It's
there.
gorgeous.
Really?
Yeah.
So what's the easiest way to get there on a bike if I want to go?
Well, you could take the bike path
to
up to
Seymour
Long
Pond,
Pond.
right? Long Pond.
Yeah,
And-
and there's Punkhorn Road right there, and it enters into
Will I
it.
take a left or a right on Punkhorn?
You'll take a left off the bike trail, you gotta cross 124, be careful.
Oh, okay.
But then you're on a dirt road.
So do it
So-
at Long Pond.
Yeah.
Not Seymour.
You should get a map.
Okay.
Okay?
Actually,
Because
okay.
They're on the map.
it's many acres, and I don't want you to
Oh,
get
I-
lost.
in there, yeah.
They just,
And don't, I do have a very fat tire bike,
oh.
which if you look, as a
Is
naturalist,
it on there?
you don't worry about falling.
Right,
And I
right.
can go through sandy.
Right. And you don't have to worry about the thorns and all the stuff so
Right.
We
much.
still do on our
Yeah.
bikes, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we still do, but not as
One
much.
speed might be,
It is.
But
So,
it's,
Challenge.
pressure's low, and I put goop in my tires, so.
What goop?
Sealant goop
Sealant.
that a
you get
thorn
a
won't.
puncture.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, it's on the
oh, do you ride
outside.
with that all the time?
I mostly.
Oh, so if you do get a thorn, it automatically
Yeah,
seals?
but not on my
Is
road
that
bike.
like
Yeah.
the slime?
Yeah, slide.
I didn't think about that, 'cause I,
It just seals it.
I have one last story, and I promise I won't say anything else. I've talked too much. But I was in Australia 4 years ago, and I can't remember the town, city, and I was on a bike path walking, and everything's the opposite there, because they drive, and so even the bike it's the same
the
as.
left?
Yeah.
Yeah, right on there.
So my whole I didn't know which way to go to get out of the way. And a speed demon's coming through and he starts screaming at me, he's cursing at me. And I didn't know which way to go. And he
That's their
almost
on
hit
the
me. So see, that's a good example, I think, of, this bewilderment and how speed is the issue. Speed is the issue. Because if the person's speeding, obviously it behooves them to protect the person on foot. But,
So-
Same with cars,
yeah,
same with,
yeah,
it's all about people.
yeah.
yeah.
It's all about people, but it's also
Unfortunately, yeah.
about power, because the person who's got more power is the person going faster, and they feel like they got more power. That's what I think.
Most of us men are motorheads, but yeah, the government
What's a
has allowed.
motorhead?
We love cars,
Not me.
but I mean, yeah, and they've, years ago in the '70s, they throttled them all back, and now it's almost unlimited what the horsepower can be on a car. Yeah, of course, the electric cars are even faster than those.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
But I was gonna say, she does a lot of riding. We ride our bikes with 21 speeds, my wife and my son,
And I'm with speed, and
and
I'm with
she
them.
rides these Swins, and we're not talking short rides.
No, we're
'cause she
talking
likes to-
very long
I have a
rides.
She goes-
I do
1950
very long rides, like
Schwinn.
30
we
miles
came-
with one
We've
gear.
climbed close to 30 miles one
Yeah,
day with
we
her.
did 30 miles
We went
that
like
day.
18 miles out
Yeah.
Oh,
and
they
then
roll. They're-
back.
they're-
And
you
we're
know,
on our
bikes
bike
have
and
a-
she's on.
And it's flat.
But-
What
Yeah.
speed
Yeah.
is it?
Good legs.
I used to commute
If it's
from
flat.
And
Harwich
she,
to
I mean, I
Diana.
rode
Fine,
her
fine. Yeah.
her
Yeah,
uncle's
can't be
her dad's bike over here today.
So-
the Schwinn, put the seat up and.
Don't give up, please.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
I mean,
we
I
have,
love,
you
oh
know-
my God, I feel so free on a bicycle. I mean,
Yeah.
if I'm not being harassed.
It's still there
I
for
love
you,
being on a
you
bicycle.
know?
A lot of our bike rides.
Just can't
we
let
go,
these
like
other
I say,
people
early in the
live.
morning.
Yeah.
Now,
Just
in the
to
summer.
keep my blinders on.
Yeah, in the
Well,
summer, yeah.
Yeah,
My
8 o'clock
emotional
ride.
blinders.
I find some of the
Yeah,
best times to come
that's
out here
what,
now
you
is in the
know.
winter time.
don't go away, man, just
Yeah.
go away. It was crazy.
It can be cold.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're in Connecticut, it's the
Yeah,
same way, but yeah, it's just,
Anyway,
It's more
I feel
peaceful.
like I preempted the entire meeting. Didn't you have some
all
other
right. We've got
agenda
other- we've got an
items?
agenda.
Thank you for
And,
coming. huh?
Yep, you're welcome. to
Thank you for
stay with
listening.
us
Thank you
or-
for listening.
And
Yeah.
listen,
I'll stay a little while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's up to you.
Okay, we'll get on with the agenda. The new business is the approval of the May meeting minutes. There was no meeting in June.
I approve it.
Yeah, I saw them.
The next item on the agenda is Paul contacted Link about getting new maps printed.
Yes, and he said he would, well, first of all, I went to, Speedy Printing, I believe is their name, where we got our roll maps done. And this went from like 300 2 years ago, 3 something, to $685.
What?
wow.
So, they got an option, you haven't seen it, our 100-pound versus the 70-pound for $345, but I didn't wanna make an ultimate just decision on my part, I wanted to bring it up to, and I don't think Fran has touched and felt.
May I
And I
ask a
wanna-
question? So the Friends map that you guys make, obviously, and you print, I forget how many now, quite a few.
It was this year there was 7,000 so far.
7,000. So the Friends maps aren't going in the same slots that these ones are. I'm sorry, I should
no.
know
There are
this.
two boxes on the pole.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
sorry to jump in.
Yeah,
There are
yeah, no,
two-
no, I was just
And
trying
so
to,
we do try to keep them separate.
right,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I don't think I don't put out 2 maps in any one that doesn't have 2.
Yep.
The ones that have 2 are the old Colony Trail.
Yeah,
So,
Right.
you know, like say on the circle,
right.
right?
Yeah, the
Because you
Friends
got
map
both.
is the whole trail. This is more,
This is
yeah,
just the
just the
OCRT,
OCRT, yeah.
you know?
Got it.
And Link's willing to pay for it, you know, and I haven't given him the quote yet, cause I wanted to say, okay,
The paper
we
choice.
feel, you know,
It's like
to me, it's ridiculous to go with the 100-pound, that's my
I
opinion.
totally agree with
I
that.
agree.
You know, I mean. for
Because
over
someone's gonna put that in their back
$355,
pocket. They might even
You
toss
know.
it in the trash.
You're right,
You know,
you're
it's like-
right.
So you kind of agree that I
Yes.
can go forward with the 70
I
pound?
have one recommendation.
Sure.
I know that the Chatham Bikeways Committee redid their map and reprinted it out. I don't.
Yes.
Have you looked at theirs
Oh,
compared
sure,
to this?
it will be the same, I mean,
It's-
I'm sorry, we will have the same PDF, I got it
Oh, good.
from Steve.
Okay.
And so we will have the exact same map. We just put out less maps because we've only got, what, 2 or 3 boxes that we put them out at?
Yeah, I mean, it's
You know,
it's
they-
overwhelming to me how many I put out. I mean,
I know.
I think there's 1,000 in a box. I
we
put out 2 boxes.
we fill map boxes.
Wow.
And as we, you know, our weekly chore at least.
Can I see one?
Oh, sure. This is
So that you do these on your
I've
bike
never
rides
used a
when you
map.
go
Yeah,
out?
these are the this is the OCRT, and that is the.
That's the whole thing.
I'm sorry, what's the difference? OCRT is
It's
Dennis to Chatham?
No,
Oh,
oh, Harwich to Chatham.
Harwich to Chatham, okay.
It's the separate
The, where you take the
spur,
right.
I guess you call it,
Right.
the spur.
Yeah, so, we kind of all agree 70 pound is
Definitely.
Yes.
good,
I vote for yeah.
and I'll
Definitely.
move forward and get in touch with Link and
Thanks, Paul.
let him pay for it.
Nice.
That's our,
That's nice of him.
director of DPW.
Nice.
He's willing to come take it out of
Yeah,
our budget,
they're
'cause
really
we have no
nice.
money.
Look here.
We're just an
Show
advisory
bus
group.
stops.
With no money.
Because you can take your bike on the bus, they show where the bus stops too. That's cool. Oh, there's some good stuff.
Okay. Last week, the Bikeways Committee, 2 of the Bikeways Committee members met with the Harwich Traffic Safety Committee. About the new law regarding the vulnerable road users law, where motorists are supposed to give bicyclists and pedestrians who are walking on the side of the road 4 feet. And
On some of these roads, that's virtually impossible. They're too narrow.
Yeah, they have to kind of wait
They
till
have
they
to-
can go.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Believe it, everyone was courteous with me, and there was a couple of big trucks. I have to cross Great Western, and they were good. They gave me, because sometimes they can come like an inch away.
It's like buzz by. It's good.
Just
Anyway,
make one mistake.
A guy just got killed in my town down in Connecticut on Route 1. And then another person that I personally know got hit on Route 1 in the same town. And so, there's a cycle center down there who's,
Good law.
yeah.
really.
It's a really
This
good
law just
law.
became law on April 1st in
And
our
what's
state.
it called again? The
The
vulnerable?
Vulnerable Roadways Users Law.
Supposed to give you 4 feet.
Yeah, it's been a law in
What was it?
Connecticut.
Road race?
No, roadways?
Ways,
Roadways,
sorry.
So did they, they're all aware of it? first of all?
yes,
Oh, good.
thank goodness they were aware of the law, and we didn't have to go into too much explanation.
Good, yeah.
However, they were not familiar with the part of the law that allows the towns to change the speed limits on their own. They're gonna look into that. They don't believe it, but
Uh-huh, oh, that's interesting.
they were pleased that that was included, but it's gonna take a while for the public and the administrators,
Yeah, the
the
awareness.
police, fire, whoever, to get used to this new law.
Well, did
So
you guys
signs-
talk about, well, the signage is supposed to be coming in July, am I right?
Yeah,
Is that what,
well-
July,
it's already, toward the end. No, it was something that, remember when we wrote down all the names of the streets we felt the signage should be on? And I think Link said they were planning on installing the signs in July, that's what I remember reading.
Well, I don't know about that time frame.
Okay,
He had to go in front of the Board of Selectmen, because although the signs are free,
yeah, the
he has to
installation.
buy the posts to put up the signs, and then the manpower to install them.
Yeah, nothing's
So
free.
he came up with a figure, and he had to go in front of the Board of Selectmen
Yeah.
to say, this is what it's gonna cost. Do you approve? And he did get the approval,
Yeah,
and
okay.
he's gonna order the posts.
$3,700.
Yeah, I know, it adds up.
Yeah, they're a lot of money.
It adds
They're
up.
$8 a piece.
What are they made out of?
Galvanized steel.
Steel.
Oh, okay.
So it's gonna happen, but in a time frame that Link is gonna handle.
And what are the signs gonna say again? What are they?
I don't
for
know if I
the-
have
it's-
that.
if-
No, I don't think I
I
do.
think it says,
It's got a,
The ones
something
that-
about 4 feet.
The ones that we have in Connecticut, yeah, tell you, I think Connecticut's 3 feet.
Yeah, I
And
saw
it-
that on
and it's-
Shoeville Road.
it's
It
not
was
on too many
it
roads
was
that
3
I've seen,
feet.
but
No,
yeah.
you hardly ever see it. When I saw it, I thought, what's this? I mean,
Yeah.
never saw it before.
Fran, to be honest with you, I really hope that we can somehow make the public, I don't think a lot of people know about the new law.
No.
I mean, when it first came out, it was in the media. Oh, today is the first day of the new law, and that was the end of it.
Yeah.
So I don't think most people even know there's a law. And now the signage will help for sure,
Yeah,
I think, but,
Jeff, my goodness, I just lost his last name at the meeting, the selectman,
Oh, the selectman, Jeff Handler.
Jeff
Handler,
Handler.
yes, he's in, yeah.
Was going to put up a,
Oh, no, he wasn't going to put up, he's, what's the word I'm looking for? And let's take a step back here. One of those big flashing signs,
electronic signs.
VM boards, they call them.
VM boards, okay.
Yeah.
The police department has one, and they agreed to put that information up on the board And Jeff Handler said that the police could put it up on his property on Route 28 if
Yeah.
if they need a location.
I see, yeah. That'd be
And
good. That'd be good.
my idea is that's not really a good location. I'd rather see it on Sisson Road in front of the police station or in Harwich Center. But
Yeah.
he did offer, he said, if you need a place to put it, he says, you can put it on my property or the family property there on 28.
No, that's a great thing.
The old junkyard.
Yep.
So
Well-
they plan on doing that.
I'd move it around town.
Yeah.
Yes.
We-
Yeah.
I thought
Yeah.
we should have like literally more than one of those. We need speed.
See,
Oh,
They're
man.
hard to,
I know, they're expensive.
I don't have one in Nickerson, and we put 2 out by the tunnel
Yeah.
to flash,
Oh, yeah,
and they've saved lives.
Oh, yeah.
oh, yeah.
You know the tunnel in Eastham? Used to
come-
be head-on collisions. The ugliest, the rescue
You mean on
people.
bicycles?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, 'cause
they
you go
would
under a
zoom
tunnel.
downhill, go
On a
into the
curve.
tunnel, and bang.
People have been killed?
Close.
I didn't know that one.
Yeah.
I know there's the tunnel going towards Dennis. There's that little tunnel.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that one's straight.
This one
you
has a
can
hill
see.
and a
It's
curve,
straight.
so the whole thing is really,
What
Terrible
town, what town
design.
is it in?
it's in,
Eastham.
Eastham. Oh, I don't even remember.
but the police officer who was a member of the traffic safety committee said that, or he didn't say, he just hinted at this is gonna take a while to
oh, sure.
get done.
Yeah.
He says, it'll be most likely 2024 season.
And the thing about the new law is that they're giving permission for people, motorists, as they're going around a cyclist or a walker or whatever, they're giving them permission, you can cross the yellow line to go around somebody, as long as there's no one coming the other way that's gonna, obviously,
Right.
common sense. But there's some people, I've seen it, they will not, no matter if nothing's coming at all, they will not go around because there's a yellow line, I'm not allowed to go over there. So this law actually gives people permission to do that, which, again, it's an educational thing.
So the traffic safety committee said,
Yeah.
we, as the bike committee, needs to come up with ideas to promote the law.
Love it.
Some insert into the tax bills that go out. They suggested it in talk with Jamie about getting a piece put on Channel 18.
Yep. Great. Is it Tim Wood? Is he the editor?
Yeah.
Yeah. He and I spoke right around the time that Zoom call took place with the state, reps and stuff about the new law. And he said, I said, Tim, would you be interested in writing a story about the new law? And he goes, yeah. He said, I didn't even know there was a new law. And he said, we're kind of busy with the election right now, but once that's all said and done, we could do something. So they're
This is a
amenable.
Massachusetts law?
It is.
Okay.
a
Now, what
Massachusetts
about the
law.
state signs coming onto the Cape? Just like you were talking about the signs that the police are gonna use on different properties. They post
Oh, yeah.
accidents and stuff like that, and they post suggestions for holidays.
Well, could ask.
Coming onto the Cape, that could be something posted, because you're, over here, you have so many people coming from out of state that aren't gonna
Right.
be aware of that law.
You're right.
That's a good
So-
idea,
That's a great
actually.
idea, yeah. You're right.
Mass DOT.
Mass Bike.
So,
Does
Well, Mass
anybody,
Bike would get Mass DOT.
does anybody know why they renumbered the exits on the Cape?
Confusion, they just
It's-
wanna,
Everywhere, not just.
yes,
Yeah.
it's supposed, there was some
It's-
national thing that
It-
distance from,
state
the
lines.
state line. I still
This
am
is what
like,
I taught,
And
this is
Exit
what I call
9 and-
absolute
yeah.
waste
This
of
is,
time.
this has been in the works for years and years and years. It's just trying to, they just have a difficulty of getting these things into motion. It's been across the other 48 states since
Yeah, but
last
it's the
20 years.
distance from what, the capital city?
No, the
No.
distance from the state
State
line.
line.
state line.
Route 6, for instance, the distance from the Connecticut state line all the way to,
I know, but what's that got to do with, so the exit number, for example, now I used to be exit 10 and now it's
Well-
82. So what is this 82?
it's
miles
82
from?
miles from that exit to the Connecticut state line.
And so
Rhode
what, so is,
Rhode Island.
Rhode Island.
It,
what,
it,
what-
it
wait
would
a
have
minute,
made
wait
more,
a minute.
it would have made, it makes sense now if they would have done it years ago.
What I'm
but they
asking,
didn't,
no,
so.
what I'm asking is, what the heck difference does it make? Why does somebody need to know? Why do I
They-
need
they-
to know
they
when I
consulted
get
us,
off
so.
my exit that I'm 82 miles from the state line? I don't need to know that's bull. It's,
Yeah, I had no
astonished.
problem
I am
remembering
absolutely
9, 10.
astonished
Right.
at the absolute idiocy
It's-
of a lot of this
It's
lawmaking.
uniform. If
Right.
the state of
For
Massachusetts,
I wanna
the state of
tell-
Maine does it, the state of Vermont does it, and Massachusetts is not doing it.
I don't, well, I
No,
don't
I
think,
get it,
I
yeah.
think that homogenization of the US was one of the worst things they did when they started homogenizing everything culturally. But the other thing is that when I first saw these changes, the exit changes, I was horrified, and I'll tell you why. Because to me, the Cape having its own numbering was very compatible with this feeling that the Cape was a place apart, because it always had that thing, like when we started coming up here from Connecticut, when I was 12 years old, it was like, this is a place, you're at Land's End in Provincetown. This is a place apart. It doesn't need to be incorporated into the rest of Massachusetts. And I felt a great sense of mourning and loss. I seriously
I
did
bet
that.
you there
That
was some
proved
federal
to me.
dollars
That
involved.
proved,
Yeah,
that
no
proved
choice.
to me that
Yeah.
the Cape was no
Oh, we all
longer
agree.
that.
We won't get an argument
you know.
from anyone here, you know? I
Change
still
is
don't
hard,
know all
change
the
is hard,
exits.
that's all. You change something.
I'm 78, right, 9?
At the bottom of the sign, it says old exit.
Yeah, thank God they,
That's,
And they
Yeah,
do
it does,
take,
but
and
very
they eventually
small,
take those
you
down,
know.
and that's where we get lost.
But I mean, it was just like,
So-
it was sort of the whole thing about old Cape Cod and, like getting away from civilization to old Cape Cod. And of course, I know that's long gone in general, but still, even that little vestige of those numbers, we were exit 10, it was a small number, it felt intimate. And then you're just part of all the rest,
Lots
the
of-
big brother.
Yeah,
That's
so Charlene, you're gonna talk to the Chronicle.
I can, yes, I think it's an idea, it's one of, but I like your idea too, that, out-of-staters won't have a clue about the mass law. Except for the signage that's going up in Harwich. I don't know how many other towns are, taking up the idea of putting up signage, I would hope they are, but
I read
it's-
one town.
Yeah.
It was a similar discussion.
Yeah.
That they were gonna have to buy the pole. It sounded exactly like what we were
Oh.
hearing. And it might have been Chad, but I'm not sure.
Yeah.
So you're saying that that Harwich is voluntarily putting up these,
Yeah.
it's
Oh,
not
yeah.
mandated?
No,
I,
the signage is not mandated, it's really the town
It's a
that
law.
decide.
It's a law, but
Yeah,
Harwich is doing the
signage.
signage voluntarily.
We
On
believe.
They
their
get
own
They get
initiative.
the signs from the DOT, but the installation of the signs is not free, so
Right,
that's where we
right.
pay.
so you
Yeah,
you
each town.
essentially are,
Yeah.
but you are,
And the thing about the signs, they were designed with the cyclists on them, even though the vulnerable road users are also, in many of our roads, have no sidewalks, so they're walkers. And in other communities, they might be people on horseback, or
Right.
you never,
Right.
you don't know. But anyway, so, sorry, I don't mean to go on. But yeah, I will definitely, if you want me to,
So another town can choose not to put up these signs, right?
I guess so, yeah.
Oh.
It's up, that's,
they probably will. If they get them free,
Eventually.
they could even add them to a post that's already there. I would grab them.
Yeah.
I haven't heard from Alan in a while, and he said he would talk to Diana at Channel 18 about the bike committee and biking in Harwich. I don't know if he would include the vulnerable users law,
yeah.
road
Yeah.
users law.
He's in Europe right now, right? Yeah, so,
Right.
Yeah.
So
good
we gotta get to Alan about that.
yeah.
Maybe he even forgot that he was gonna talk to Diana.
Yeah.
I don't know who to contact about getting an insert into the tax bill.
That would be the clerk, or no, town clerk? Or do we go
That
through
might
our,
be a
our
real
rep, or
miracle,
maybe
but-
our selectman?
How about the assessor's
Emily,
office?
the clerk, I
Oh,
think
she,
you're right.
yeah, Emily the
Yes.
clerk, yeah.
Would she know who to go to?
She would say she could do it or she couldn't, right? She might not have the authority to do that, but she
Right.
might, right? So I mean,
What she
that'd be a
calls
good place to
our
start.
liaison, that's what it is.
And
Our liaison.
she's very
Yeah.
knowledgeable, she's a really helpful person.
Okay, yeah, that's good.
Yeah, or a selectman or liaison.
Select,
either way.
yeah, either
They
way.
just went out, the tax bill,
Yeah,
last week. but-
Yeah.
last week?
Yeah, until the November tax bill, they come in twos now, so.
Yes, that's right.
Isn't it?
But,
Yeah,
yeah.
you know,
Yeah, saving money on, yeah, that makes sense.
Mm.
I'm trying to think of any other ideas that we might have, but we don't have time really to probably.
Put a billboard on your back and ride down the road, give me 4 feet. You know?
How old is this law?
April 1 was
Yeah,
the first,
just-
this year.
It's new.
It took 10 years to come up with the law, so it's like a big deal.
They also, the Traffic Safety Committee also said that it's, they would like to see the bikers, there's part of the law said that the bikers have to have a light in the front, and a light
Yes.
in the back.
Yes,
And they would like to see that promoted as well.
right, yeah. And you know, one of the things here, we were talking about this, I
I'm in
think at
favor
our
of
other
that, I
meeting,
have that. on
saying
my-
that, you know, riding at night is not as big a thing here as it would be in the Boston area or something like that. But I'm sure there's still people riding at night.
J1.
Yeah, for
people
sure,
are,
yeah,
right,
yeah. Yeah.
Now, would that light on both ends be true for rail trail as well?
It should be.
Yeah.
Oh my God, you're crazy not to
No,
have.
during the day though, at night.
Oh.
I know,
Oh, no,
yeah.
No,
yeah,
just
See,
it's
this-
for night.
it's
What-
nighttime use,
What
yeah.
he's saying is you have to, this new law, you have to have that light on in the day too, correct?
Really?
No,
Oh, I
no.
don't think
I
so.
don't know.
No.
I don't think that's,
That
They
doesn't-
they
You don't
just
think-
said that that's part of the law is to have the lights
Actually,
in
I
the
have
bike,
seen
and
cyclists
we
having
should
a front
start
flasher
promoting
and
that
a
as
rear.
well.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good question. I mean, we'd
Mine
have
goes
to,
on.
Mass Bike would be the best people to ask.
I
Um,
thought I read that, I might be wrong.
I
Mine
put
goes
a
on
I put a
while
rear
it's
flashing
in
light
the
on my
bike.
bike whenever I'm on my bike.
Oh, I do too.
Day or night.
I don't
I
have
don't
the
go at
front,
night,
though.
but anyway.
I don't
But yeah, I
notice.
don't know if
They
the
run
law
off my
is
battery.
daytime use. I didn't think so, but hey, that's a good question.
Well, I live right on the bike path and I go walking on it at night. I've never seen a bicycle go through.
Yeah.
So there's nobody using it at night, or almost nobody using it
Right,
at night.
right.
so.
Yeah, it's not a big thing here, like the
I
city
don't,
would be.
yeah. I know, I do know a few people who ride at night, but.
What about, you know, I went on the Mass Bike website and I'd like to get some more bumper stickers, but I didn't see any way to, or any mention of the bumper stickers.
They may have run out. I gave a bunch to, I did order
Right,
some.
we have a bunch.
Yeah, we have a
But-
bunch, and how do you get more? That's the question. I don't know, I think they might have run out, and I think they took the ordering page off their site. I noticed that, but
Probably.
it's, yeah, I think they were hoping, over time, to get more resources to promote this new law, and there was the bumper stickers, and then there was the stickers for your helmet, and I did order those, I still haven't gotten them yet, so, yeah. They've got people that are,
What kind
Rolling
of
them out.
stickers?
it just says, give us 4 feet, or, you know, kind of thing, the new
Oh.
law, yeah.
Oh,
It's a yellow, I think it's yellow,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's big. It's,
I think it has the picture of the sign on.
yeah,
yeah.
it does.
but I mean, if you put it on your helmet, it's not gonna be
No,
so
it
very
wouldn't,
big.
no, it wouldn't, no, that's the bumper sticker, but,
Yeah.
yeah, I wonder if they're gonna get more, but I don't know. Yeah.
Okay.
They're
'Cause
hard,
I was looking forward to the Cranberry Festival coming up in September and having these as a handout.
that would be a great idea, yeah.
Mm.
I wonder if, I don't know about you guys, have you ever tried to call somebody at Mass Bike? It's impossible, I mean, I did leave messages and stuff, and, yeah, I didn't get through.
What
really
is
anyway.
it?
What is Mass Bike?
Yeah,
The train.
It's an organization that promotes biking and does a lot of work with legislature, you know,
Oh,
legislators
thank you.
and so on to promote safe biking throughout the state. So.
Are they paid positions?
Yes.
Yeah, and they probably have some
Well,
summer
then they should
help.
be answering their phone.
I know.
I had good luck with email, you know,
Yeah.
where I communicated with somebody at
Yeah.
Mass Bike, and it worked good.
Yeah,
So I would, cause I tried calling too,
Yeah.
But when I went to the email, and I got immediate response, and, you know, it went good.
I'd be happy to try and see what comes up. Okay, I'll do that.
So, other items beside the new law that were covered at the Traffic Safety Committee meeting that Paul and I attended, was a lot of, the town officials are getting a lot of complaints about speeding and dangerous intersections, like the intersection of Bank and Pleasant Street.
Pleasant Street.
Parking too close to the intersection.
Sure.
They would like to see something done, either enforcement with the police or a sign saying no parking from here to the corner.
Sure, yeah, I mean, they should just ticket people and that'll.
Right. But the police are
You gotta
getting
post it,
overwhelmed
though.
too,
Yeah,
with all this traffic enforcement.
Where's Pleasant Street?
Is that a block up from 28? Like Pleasant Street runs parallel to 28?
Yes.
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
speeding though, it is a problem.
I covered that. Once again, more speeding on, another one of their discussion items was speeding on Bank Street going down to 28.
Yeah.
Could there be more signs, speed limit signs, and more traffic enforcement? They did mention that there's one of these flashing signs on Bank Street saying what your speed is.
Yeah,
They would like to see more of those.
yeah.
well, I'm sure glad I don't
They're
live
helpful.
on Bank Street. Who wants to live near a flashing sign? That's terrible.
It's pretty small, the new ones.
Really?
Yeah, they just go, you're going 25, 28.
Ah.
You know.
Speed limit right underneath it.
Yeah, I've seen them, but I just think that if you're in a residential
Oh,
district,
right in
I
front of
wouldn't
your
want one
house.
flashing in front of my
Yeah,
house,
that's true.
you know? But you know, I think what she said is very important, really. You're talking about public education. I personally think that, you know, more and more and more signage. We've got so much signage in the country now. I mean, I live in Mystic, Connecticut. I don't know if you've ever been there, but it's a nightmare of signs. It's just bristling with signs, a porcupine of signs, you know? And people just, their behaviors don't change. They don't really change. I don't think signage changes behavior. I think this public education and different ways of modifying people's attitudes and behaviors. A sign is just making the person putting up the sign feel good. I don't think it's having an effect. Man, I live right near a busy road in Mystic, Connecticut. Yeah, you have no idea how horrible it is. And they just keep putting up more signs, and it's not
It
changing.
gives you legal rights, like, by putting up the speed limit sign on the bike path, I have the right to tell somebody who's speeding. Before that, I've been yelled off going, there's no speed limit.
Yeah, yeah. No, in
And
that
they're right.
Yeah, no, I
You know?
I see what you're saying.
But you're right,
I mean,
education
if
is
there's-
way better.
Look at, but
I hate
also,
signs,
not only
so-
education, enforcement. See, when you called somebody out, that was enforcement.
Right.
Okay, but a sign without enforcement is really a
No,
joke.
it's a tool, right, you
It's
put
like
up
a law
signs so
without
you
enforcement.
can
You know.
No
enforce.
law, yeah.
You're
A
right.
sign without enforcement, and also, what's the other thing you said? I forgot what it was. I don't know.
Before the meeting closes, I have a couple of
Education,
things.
yeah.
Sorry,
No, I'm
Yeah.
finished.
we're gonna get through our business here, I think.
There was also a lot of talk at the Traffic Safety Committee about Old Chatham Road and Route 39. They call it the Hope and Go intersection.
Oh, yeah,
Which, okay,
So
the angles
30.
off, yeah, it's a tough one, I
so,
avoid it.
They were looking for a direction to go with this intersection. Should they close it off? Should they make it,
A 90.
make it a 90-degree? And
where is this road? I'm sorry, 39, I know where that is.
It's near the bike crossing.
Oh,
It's just before the bike crossing on 39. It's
Heading
just a
up
very
toward
odd angle.
Orleans that way, yeah.
Okay.
And it V's
It's my
off.
corner.
Okay.
Mhm. Oh, yeah. I know
Yeah.
what you're
Oh,
talking
okay, I know.
We've been
exactly,
turning
yeah,
that
yeah.
corner for
So there's-
45 years.
They need to do a lot of work in order to make a decision, come to a decision as to what to do with this intersection.
At the end of 39, they put a rotary on 28 there where it met. And that's
Yeah,
nice.
yeah, that's new. Huh?
Yeah.
I didn't know what they were doing.
Well,
there.
where's the rotary?
On the way.
You know that 39 goes all the way and it gets on 28 from Chatham to Orleans?
Yeah.
You're heading to
They got a
Orleans?
rotary.
Past Stop and Shop?
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay, way past.
When it
past.
ends. It used to come up and it'd be a tough intersection.
Oh, is there a rotary there now?
They
Yeah.
just
Now there
finished
is.
it.
Oh,
just
okay,
opened
oh,
about
I
a
haven't
month
seen
And
it
it
yet.
made it nicer.
Oh.
It really,
Hmm.
Yeah.
that was a
Oh,
good,
that's because you like rotaries. Now, the people that don't like rotaries,
well, yeah, it's true, but it makes everyone stop and get polite.
Well, not only stop, stop, yeah, because like a rotary supposedly has a flow,
Yeah.
but those big rotaries they put in on 28 in Chatham, you practically have to come to a dead standstill. So that they're not really rotaries, they're almost like
They're small.
barriers. You know?
No, I
Slows
see.
people down, that's good.
Yeah, well, slowing people down.
there was also a lot of discussion on what to do about Cross Street. The Traffic Safety Committee was asked to make it a one-way street, and they don't feel that that would solve the problem with Cross Street. There's a lot of problems at the intersection of Cross Street and 28. They don't have a problem
Where
with
is that cross? Is that by
George's
George's
Pizza.
Pizza?
George's Pizza.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
yeah.
they're saying that people come on that road and park and walk to the beach. So the business owners, some big business owners were there saying that, you know, you have a 2-hour parking sign there, but they said that's basically ignored.
You should go to the
Was
beach.
not enforced.
But yet, they're gonna change that sign to a 1-hour park. And they're also gonna make other, they're gonna close off or
No parking
Yeah.
on the other, I say enough,
they're gonna eliminate some parking spaces that are there at,
on the right-hand side.
right.
On the dune side going up, there'll be no parking at all except for deliveries. And they did say to call the police if you feel someone's been there. And
Where is
one
this?
woman did say, I'll put you on speed dial.
There you go.
Where is this?
Cross street.
Oh, Cross Street. Oh, sorry. You said Dunes, so I didn't.
Well, Dunes is right as on the corner.
Oh, is that? Oh, okay. I thought you meant Dunes next to the beach.
Yeah, George's Pizza, and on the other side is Dunes.
Oh,
So it was really enlightening going to the Traffic Safety Committee and listening to all that they have to deal with. A lot more than we deal with.
Well, yeah.
The next item on the agenda is we need to get out to the OCRT and paint the speed limit.
Yeah, I
Speed,
volunteered to help.
not the speed bumps.
The
The
cracks.
cracks,
The
and they're
cracks.
Oh,
getting
there are a
worse.
lot of them.
Oh, man, they're getting worse.
So,
Really. Yeah.
we need to come up with a date.
Yep.
That we could do that.
I volunteered because I brought it up. I said,
Well, we
okay.
need at least 2 people.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
you do.
One to identify the bumps and another one to spray the bumps.
And
You
one
got
to
the
watch
paint?
out for the people
Yeah.
coming down.
Yeah.
You have the paint?
Yeah,
Yes.
Paul has.
Okay, that kind? You just aim down?
I've got, I can.
Line marking?
I will offer the, Cranberry Harwich has a gun to load the can
Yeah,
Oh, okay, I know.
to, so you don't have to go too low.
yeah.
And I'll volunteer that. It's not my jurisdiction, except that, it's in my container for the Harwich. And so, and I have 3 cans left of paint that was donated by DPW last year when we painted, Fran and I painted them last year.
Charlene doesn't like the color
No,
yellow.
I said to Fran, if we could get that orangey red, because there's a really bad crack.
Yeah.
And it's orangey red, and
Yeah.
man, that thing stands out, especially in the shade. There's a shady spot
Which
there.
crack?
Oh, it's the really horrific crack.
Going
It's
toward
after-
Chatham
Okay.
and just
Yeah.
after Depot Road.
It's the worst, and
It is
it's,
bad.
yeah,
There's
it's
no
really bad.
question about it.
Anyway, but yeah,
It's
if
not going
we have
do
to use up
anything
paint, that's
until
fine, I just was
any
thinking,
answers happen and whether it'll ever get repaved or not.
well,
You know,
Yeah.
and that'll be years.
it's gonna be a few years.
I
So
know.
I was hoping maybe at some point
A
that
patch.
he might say, you know what,
Yeah.
let's take a couple of small sections and just fix them up, like, cause it's bad. That's a really bad spot right in there, that
Yeah,
whole
it is,
area.
because it's across both sides.
Yeah, and then you've got a couple of bad spots near the cemetery, in the town
Oh.
center, and well, you know,
Yeah,
let's
I
face
ran
it,
into-
Brewster, I mean, I did the
The
Brewster.
town center was terrible.
My God, like,
Yeah.
there's some really bad
Yeah.
areas.
So you don't like the yellow, well, I have yellow
No,
paint,
no, I'm
that's
just
all
saying,
have.
I didn't realize you had 3
And that's
extra
free
cans,
right
so,
now.
no, we'll use up what we have, I get it, you know what I mean, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be.
No, no.
I just want something really visible, that's, you know, but,
Earlier this year, we rode the Cheyenne Sea Trail, and they had gone through and I'll use the word shave down the cracks,
yeah.
down level, what machine they used or how they have it accomplished. And they laid something across the top of it, sort of looked like fiberglass. I mean, it wasn't fiberglass, but it was some kind of covering over it.
Yeah.
So when we ride it this fall, we kind of want to see how that held up, because that may be a cheaper fix
Oh, yeah.
than, you know, and it might be a pretty good one. We don't know who
Yeah.
did it or what. Or,
Yeah, that's interesting.
but we thought we would give it this summer to see how it held up, but it made, I'd say, a huge difference in their trail. You know,
That's cool.
you didn't feel any bumps.
I'm
Maybe you
available
didn't feel the
next week if you have any.
Oh, you you're such a tender person.
I was gonna wear my jacket tonight too, but,
Yeah, it's cool in here.
um,
Paul, do you wanna do it next week, or
Okay,
are you
yeah.
available? I mean, I'm just throwing it out there.
Excuse me, we're gonna go. Thank you so
Well, thanks
much.
for coming.
Yeah.
Yes, it was
We
very
appreciate your
interesting.
comments.
Thank you
Thanks.
very much. Bye-bye.
Good
I
luck
know.
with your
Well, I
committee.
know.
Nice meeting you guys all.
Nice meeting you.
Anyway, I mean, I'm just throwing it out there. I mean, if next Tuesday, I'm pretty open. I mean, if, I didn't know you were. Anyway. Could do Monday also in the afternoon, but,
Let me get back to
yeah, sure, yeah.
Monday is still, as much
I was
as
supposed to
don't
help
make
last
them
year, and
all
I
the
felt
time,
guilty, I
I'd like
never-
to do our rides
I
a
wasn't.
little bit in the morning.
Yeah.
We do our 8 o'clock ride.
Yeah, this is kind of like, I'm even thinking about what bike to take, because it's gonna be stop and go. I mean, you're gonna stop, right? I mean, it's not a real
And,
ride.
trust me, I've got some old black shoes that has yellow paint on them right now, they're splattered.
Oh, yeah.
And they're really crappy shoes, but
Oh, wow,
I would wear them again.
uh-huh,
But yeah, I'd have to just,
yeah, okay, sure. I just didn't want,
give you a shout, can you?
Yeah.
Send me a quick email, do you mind?
sure.
I don't know where I came up with, maybe it came from the Cape Cod Commission, that Mass Bike has board openings, and if anybody
Saw
would
that.
like to join their board, they can visit the Mass Bike website.
Yeah, you have, and just to be aware, they have 6 meetings a year, and I think you have to
Up
attend,
in Boston.
yeah,
Yeah.
a couple, like 2 or 3 in that, and I go, okay, that rules me out, I'm not doing that. I mean, I think it'd be awesome to be on the, you know.
Just
be
thought
involved.
I'd mention it.
Yeah, no, it's good. I
We
just-
vote by you.
Huh?
We vote by you.
No, but I
Did
mean,
everybody get the update from the Cape Cod Commission? The email that came from the Cape Cod Commission?
Yep.
Yes,
I think.
okay. I just wanted to be sure, if you're not on their distribution list, we'll get you put on their distribution list.
Okay.
A lot of information.
yeah, I agree.
And to wrap things up here, under old business, once again, if you see something wrong or bad on the trail, let Paul know, and if you can, take a picture and email it to Paul,
Yeah.
We had enough comments and suggestions already. The next meeting is scheduled for August 21st.
May I ask, just as a real quick
Bo got
question?
back to me already. He's gonna tell people to go out tomorrow, cause he's out with a bad back,
Oh, is it? Yeah, that's right.
so, but he'll
That's right.
tell
Yeah, I
me
got a
about-
message from Steve Waddle about a couple of us he would call widowmakers. And I was out on a trail and I ran into Eric and he was on his bike just before the meeting, so,
Yeah,
Yeah.
so you should get him then.
okay.
Can you say that date again?
Thank you, Steve.
21st,
21st is a Monday.
okay?
22nd. So one of the things I thought maybe in the future we could talk about, I know at the Chatham meeting, I phoned in on that one, but they were talking about, you know, you really ought to be doing counting on the trail, like, and are we, because just in the event that we have to make a justification to do something, for example, if, I mean, I don't know, I mean, should we just do this as standard procedure?
Which
you know?
trail?
Our trail, the OCRT.
Okay.
Yeah.
The Cape Cod Commission has installed automatic counters.
Okay,
They're little black boxes that sit to the side of the trail.
Okay.
And there's one just before Brooks Park.
oh, okay, so that's being done, okay.
Yeah, and
Great.
the only trouble with that counter is it counts everything.
Yeah.
It could be a dog walking by, it could be a guy, person on a bike, could be a walker.
Could be
or runner.
a coyote or,
Just like-
yeah, but
But
still,
They,
I
they
mean,
do have,
yeah,
getting that information from them.
Yeah, there's a difference.
no, I'm glad, I didn't, you know, I didn't realize, I thought they were setting it up as requested, I didn't realize it was a done deal, I didn't know it was permanent, thing, that's great. And the other, I just had a quick question, I know that the Dennis folks got their crossing at Great Western, and they did all of the approach and
They
everything.
did that all. the
And there's
time.
no light, and I go, my husband said, where's the light? And I go, oh my God, there's no light.
You haven't been there
They haven't got the
recently, huh?
light, just
Still
a
no
couple of
light.
days ago.
Still no light.
No
Still
light,
no light.
so I thought,
But the
are they not
progress
putting
is
the light?
being made there, because I was by
Oh,
there
yes,
a
it's
couple of
beautiful.
weeks ago,
Yeah,
and they had traffic down to one lane because they were putting up the posts for the light.
absolutely, you know, I think it's coming, that's what I was thinking, it's
I
gotta
think
be
it's
coming,
coming.
cause they've
Yeah,
done a
it
beautiful
must be.
job
Well,
of
but-
getting to, you know,
Right.
and all that.
The
so-
ranger said the light's not working on Depot Street in Harwich, the one by the oyster place.
Really?
Ah.
The
Yeah.
one by the, yeah.
And actually, I don't think the
Okay,
one
that's
up that little bit further up Great Western was working either. When I went through just now. I'm not a fan of them. They act out all the time, and they frustrate, and they,
I know.
you know? I wouldn't mind a steady caution and stop, a red for the cyclist, caution, you know?
I don't
I
disagree.
guess you wouldn't wanna live next to that.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that comment even slightly, but the thing I think about them is it draws attention to that. And,
Oh, yeah.
okay, so there's nobody there, it went off by mistake.
Yeah.
Sorry, you know, but you looked and, you know, or it didn't go off,
Right.
okay? But you know it's there, so you're
Right.
using caution, so I
Right.
think they sort of work.
They sort
But
of
you're
will,
right, they
yeah,
break.
mechanically,
Yes,
and the
yeah.
solar,
And-
and they're very finicky.
Yes.
With the
they-
wind.
Yeah.
Do we, is ours being installed in the fall, is that the 124?
Yes, I think it'll be fall.
Yeah.
My guess is that, that they get very busy in summer with
Yeah.
things they have to do. And typically, that's when they go up.
Usually,
Towards the end of summer.
depending on when they, like, purchase it,
Yes.
or spring,
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
yes, yes, that's right too,
Late.
yeah,
late,
Yeah.
you know, in the
That's
spring
cool. All right.
of 2024.
yeah. Yeah.
Assuming that they, let's see, the end of July now, so I mean, so they could start buying it anytime in the month of July, but
Yeah.
who knows when they'll get to it.
Understand.
Do we have any other business? Could we,
Meeting adjourned?
meeting adjourned?